Welcome back. Cynthia Breazeal is a renowned American computer scientist, entrepreneur, and educator who leads efforts to make artificial intelligence more understandable, inclusive, and socially empowering. She's a professor of media arts and sciences at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, dean for digital learning at MIT Open Learning, as well as the director for MIT RAISE, which is responsible AI for social empowerment and education. Breazeal is a pioneer in social robotics and human-robot interaction, recognized for developing robots that interact with people in socially intelligent ways, and for her leadership in AI education and ethical AI adoption. As a speaker at this year's World Government Summit, her vision aligns closely with the summit's focus on shaping future governments, strengthening education systems, and enabling inclusive innovation in the age of artificial intelligence. Cynthia, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily Roundup.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Well, Cynthia, at the World Government Summit 2026, AI literacy and inclusive education are key topics. But let's talk about how governments, can ensure AI education reaches all learners and not just the privileged few.
Yeah, so I'll just share that within our approach within MIT and the MIT RAISE program, one of the key strategies we use to make sure that AI literacy is inclusive is we make all of our materials open and free. So MIT has a long tradition of open courseware, open software. And so by doing that, we encourage other organizations, maybe even other ministries of education around the world, to be able to take our curriculum materials, our pedagogical approaches, our tools, which allow students to learn about AI by making things with AI. They can translate them, they can adapt them to their local cultural and educational context, and in many ways, like make it their own. And then we also support capacity building efforts within those organizations or those countries or regions, which really focuses on teacher professional development. So we believe teachers are critical members of the AI-powered workforce. So by helping teachers themselves become AI literate and then able to bring AI literacy to their students through, again, the open educational materials that we provide, we empower teachers everywhere to be able to bring AI to students who are attending schools all around the world.
Cynthia, with AI transforming economies, what should education systems do now to prepare students for future workforces for AI-powered jobs?
Yeah, so there's actually a number, I think, of really important things that schools and educational systems need to do, particularly when we think about young people. So we know that, AI is coming in and transforming education in many different forms, from AI tutor systems, or again, these kind of AI literacy materials that I've talked about, learning through making and creating. We know that when we talk to industries about critical skills and aptitudes that they look for, yes, they want technical skills, but they still really prioritize durable human skills. So critical thinking, creativity and creative problem solving, collaboration and teamwork, the ability to take initiative, of being someone who is a lifelong learner. These are all really critical attributes because, again, AI in the future is a fast-moving, fast-changing place. And so companies are really looking for people who are agile, able to collaborate, able to solve problems creatively, and yes, of course, have the technical skills as well. So we talk about holistic AI literacy, and I think that's important, is to appreciate cultivating all of these skills is actually very important for our educational systems to better prepare young people for the future, or at least for a future with AI.
Well, your work with MIT RAISE emphasizes, ethics and empowerment, but how can countries build AI literacy that includes ethical reasoning and just not the technical skills?
Yes. So we've actually developed a lot of curriculum and toolkits and frameworks where children actually are introduced to ethical and responsible design concepts and frameworks, and they practice them. So we have a methodology we call computational action, which is students not only learn about AI through making things with AI, but through making a difference, meaning trying to do good with AI, trying to help your peers, your community. And through doing that, they have to think through kind of all the dimensions of a solution to make sure that it's equitable, that it treats people fairly. that they understand that different stakeholders may have different goals or values and how they consider that in their designs. So in many ways, we position students in the seat of the responsible designer and empower them, again, with tools, but also conceptual frameworks, kind of tools to think with as they design their solutions. So they holistically approach the problem from a responsible and ethical standpoint, as well as kind of a value proposition standpoint as well. And so, I mean, the punchline is the only way to learn these skills is by doing them and practicing them. And so we, again, have prepared a lot of these important materials that empower teachers and students to do this as part of their education practice in the classroom.
Speak to me a little bit, Cynthia, about Day of AI, an initiative that has reached millions of students globally.
Yeah, so Day of AI is one of our flagship programs. So again, in the spirit of open and free curriculum materials and toolkits, we've created the Day of AI program, where we have developed short format AI literacy modules, literally from kindergarten all the way through high school, aligned with student interests. So things like AI in art, AI in climate, AI in social media, AI in gaming, all, these kinds of topics that are accessible to students, but also aligned with many different subjects. So when we created the Day of AI materials, we believe that AI is for everyone and that any teacher can teach the Day of AI. They can find a module that makes sense for them, as well as all students need to become AI literate. It's not just for the technically minded students, because AI is all around us. Young people are using it in their personal lives, their social lives. They're going to use it in their civic lives. So it's really a foundational, I think, literacy that all students need. So the Day of AI was really designed for that. Again, we made our materials open and free. So we invite other people from other parts in the world to leverage our materials, to localize them, to translate them, to adapt them to their educational, cultural context. And then we have teacher professional development through Train the Trainer program. So we have a number of collaborations now, even at the level of ministries of education, for very large scale deployments throughout an entire country. And by doing that, we're able to help those countries build capacity so they can really take these materials from MIT, but then make it their own, to really own it and build their own capacity. And that's how they build sustainability for their country or for their region. We're already, in over 170 countries. We've trained over 75,000 teachers with our materials who then serve and bring AI literacy to their students in their classrooms, and reached over 2 million students, and rapidly growing and expanding. So I think this is a very pivotal moment, I think, as we think about what is our future with AI. We believe it needs to be a human-led future. We recently had a big event in Dubai in November where we invited leaders from over 35 countries. I was very heartened to hear all of those leaders say the future with AI needs to be a human-led future. And that's exactly what we're trying to prepare young people to be able to do, to have a human-led future.
Back to Day of AI, Cynthia, how do programs such as that, how could they benefit Africa and, other developing nations?
Yeah, so we actually have some collaborations with countries throughout Africa. They often start, in a very kind of intentional way, where we'll start with a pilot with a few schools. We'll make sure that we work with those teachers in those contexts to, again, localize and adapt the materials to that African context. And then trainers, often teachers themselves, are willing and interested in being the trainers for other teachers. And then we work with organizations within that nation to be able to then scale it to more teachers and more schools throughout the region. So again, even across Africa, we have a number of collaborations where we help them to build their national capacity, to really, again, own it and sustain it and scale it.
Yeah. Well, just in closing, Cynthia, we know that, of course, today was day 2 of the World Government Summit. Just a roundup from yourself and your experience over the past 2 days.
Okay, so I will say this is my first day at the summit. So we actually had a very exciting event. We did a signing event between DP World, the Ministry of Education of Dubai, and MIT to do a middle school rollout of our AI literacy curriculum across subjects for the private schools of Dubai. So it was a very exciting day for me, but I've really just started to enjoy the World Global Summit myself, and look forward to speaking tomorrow.
Well, we appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Great, thank you.
Well, that was Cynthia Breazeal, a renowned American computer scientist, entrepreneur, and educator, who was speaking to us there from Dubai, where the World Government Summit is currently underway. We'll be right back after this short break.